Remember the news that large stocks of PPE that had arrived from Turkey to help the NHS got no further than the warehouse because they failed UK standards. It now means there's extra pressure to get the right equipment to those who need it most, and one firm in Manchester is doing their bit to help. Simone Pepe is from the Pilot Group, who'd work round the clock to design and donate almost 2,000 PPE visors, and she's with me now. Simone, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm great, kid. So why did you start doing this? And why did you think, like, we've got to start doing this, we've got to start doing it now? Why was that?
Well, can I explain, first of all, that protective visors are not what we do normally. And we decided initially, when we heard about the lack of PPE, that we wanted to see if we were able to produce a visor that we could design and manufacture that would help the NHS frontline workers. We were concerned about all the news around shortages, and particularly as we're a Northwest-based firm, we wanted to see if we could help.
Well, right, what would you normally be doing?
Well, our main business is that we're in the manufacture and supply of technology products for a carbon-free future. So we do things like electric vehicle charging, commercial and industrial LED lighting, energy management systems, and traffic and safety controls. So nothing to do with visors whatsoever.
And why did you think that, listen, we've got the expertise to do visors, actually?
Well, it's an interesting question. What we actually did was we got a few heads together. So our Chief Technology Officer, a couple of engineers and the directors, to see if we could build a prototype, first of all, to see if we have the capabilities. And we worked really closely with a few people in the NHS. You mentioned earlier about there's been a lot of products out there on the market that aren't compliant. So we built the prototype with help from people in the NHS guiding us, and then we went through compliance and we passed. And so therefore, then we took a decision as a business that we would manufacture them and deliver as many as we could with the materials that we actually had available to us. And so we've been able to build 1,900 so far, and they will be going out. Some have already gone, and some will be going over the next couple of weeks.
The thing that fascinates me about this is, how do you, and I'm sure you've got great employees, but then you've got to, when I say reskill everybody, they've got to be reskilled in the direction of visors, and you've got to make them with something. There's got to be an infrastructure there, and it fascinates me how you put that together.
So that was really down to everybody in the team. So there were some of our employees and all the volunteers, because some of the people that have been involved have been on furlough leave. So basically what we've done, how did we put it together? There's a whole project team around it. So there was the design, the manufacture, the procurement, the project managing, the volunteers to help assemble them all, and then organising the distribution of them all and getting them to the right place. So yes, you're right. It's about being agile and about making sure that we have the right product.
The one thing that, and I say this, I hope I don't bore you to death, but I say a variation on this nearly every day on the programme, that's amazed me about the predicament we find ourselves in, is that completely unrealised reservoir of comradeship, community, and thought for others from the likes, for thousands and thousands of companies, millions of people, the likes of you, where you thought, listen, we've got to do our bit really here. And I just find, and there'll be people, Simone, really lovely people who thought, oh, what a shame this is, but they've not done what you did.
Well, thank you. I'm sure part of that was about the engineers and the technical people looking at the equipment that we have and seeing how we can adapt it in order to be able to come up with something that wasn't just suitable, it was compliant. And it took a little bit of blood, sweat and tears. But yeah, the everybody was totally engaged in trying to help where we could.
Simone, it's been heartwarming and an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for what you're doing. You take care, kid, and keep safe.
And you, take care.
Cheers, thank you so much. They're talking to Simone and they're getting those visors together. I just thought it was an amazing conversation. If you want to shout out in about 15